Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we got a nice content drop from DICE on the new French DLC called They Shall Not Pass for Battlefield 1. And this beautiful tank you're looking at here, or I should say Behemoth, is the new French Char 2C. This is one of the biggest tanks ever made, and it's going to be available as a player-controlled Behemoth in the new DLC. I doubt it's going to be repairable, but oh my god, this thing looks amazing. It looks huge, it's got a turret on the front, turn on the back, machine guns all over it. This thing is going to be epic. And as if that weren't enough, we're also getting this awesome French tank. I assume this might be taking the place of the heavy tank in the game, as it was one of the heaviest tanks made during the war. It's called the Saint-Chamond, and it's got this huge cannon on the front of it, probably more powerful than most of the other tanks out there, and then machine guns all around. The angles on the front of the tank also suggest that it might deflect a lot of incoming shots, so you may be better off just going for side shots on this tank, which could be easier said than done. There's also a new stationary weapon coming in the DLC called the Siege Howitzer. This is going to be operated by an infantry. You can just run up to it like you would, say, a field cannon, but this time around you're going to aim it much like you would the mortar for the support class. That's all we need, is a bigger mortar in the game. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Hopefully it's not too powerful. It may, however, be similar to those mortars that we see on the armored train in some of the existing maps. We also have a new elite class in the game. This is the Trench Raider, and he has a brutal Raider club plus an impressive grenade arsenal. This might mean he has multiple different kinds of grenades for different situations, but the fact that it seems like he's focusing on melee and grenades is pretty much the most terrifying thing I can think of for an anti-infantry class. I do not look forward to running into this guy, but I am excited to try him out. We also received information on all of the 4 new maps in the DLC. This first one here is Verdun Heights, in the middle of basically a forest fire. You're going to be fighting in an uphill battle against pillboxes and artillery fire. Sounds like a nightmare, but could make for a visually stunning map. This next map here should excite players who enjoy infantry-focused gameplay. The map is called Fort Vaux, and it's going to take place largely in the underground tunnels of this fortress. Whether it's dark or wet or grimy, there's going to be guns, flamethrowers, bayonets, melee, and grenades. It sounds like it could be a ton of fun or a complete disaster depending on your perspective of close-quarter infantry maps. This next map here is called Soissons, and it's supposed to take place around one of the biggest tank assaults of World War I. The French 10th Army is moving in using their Saint-Chamond tanks to try and take back this town. I can't wait for it. There's going to be infantry, airplanes, and of course tanks. We'll have to see if the Behemoth is the tank itself or maybe an airship. And then it also says that there's going to be a thunderstorm. Now, we've already seen rain in the game, but does that mean this could be a different kind of weather effect? Maybe lightning striking the ground? That would be pretty darn cool. This next map here is called Rupture, and it's basically the French finding themselves backed into battlefields where poppies grow over rusty wrecks from previous tank battles. It's basically going to create a maze of rusted out tanks and flowers and an overgrown look to it ultimately. I imagine a lot of that will be destroyable through mortars and artillery, but I really like the look of this, and I can't wait to see more details on it. We also get an image here of a French soldier in their iconic blue uniform, so it'll be nice to see a different looking faction on the battlefield for a change, and especially since the French were such a huge part of World War I, it's nice to finally see them here. Granted, they are behind that DLC paywall, which people aren't too happy about, but if you're a big Battlefield 1 fan, I have a feeling you're going to be getting the DLC regardless. The DLC is also adding a new game mode called Frontlines, which is described as a conquest and rush style game as you fight for chained control points in a tug-of-war front line. Both teams fight for one flag at a time, and when the objective is captured, the action moves on to the next. Capture the enemy's HQ control point, and the game turns into a rush-style section where telegraph posts need to be attacked or defended. It sounds like a fun back-and-forth style game mode with very focused action, and I'm really looking forward to it. I also read that there was going to be 2 operations included in this DLC. I would imagine that means 2 maps apiece per operation. I think I read that on the Battlefield Twitter, so that should be part of the DLC. Unfortunately, though, with today's content drop, we didn't get an official release release date. We still know it's coming out in March, but we don't know what day in March. Maybe DICE doesn't even know yet. Maybe they're still working on finishing up some stuff and they want to give themselves a little bit of wiggle room on the official release date. We also don't know anything about new infantry weapons that might be in the game. I assume we're getting some. They've already said that 20 new weapons will be coming out in the DLC total. But in previous Battlefield games, some DLCs have skipped entire weapon packs. So they're not guaranteed to be in this DLC. I hope they are, though. There are some cool French rifles out there that people want to play with. Anyway, I'm getting pretty pumped for this DLC. Shortest case scenario, we've got about a month and a week left to wait. Longest case scenario, we've got a month or almost 2 months left to wait. We'll have to see when in March it drops. But as always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.